Hello again, everyone. So I thought I'd do a little follow-up to my initial Terraria tutorial. I'll probably actually turn this into a series because it is quite the deep game. Lots of interesting stuff to go over with here. Now, this is actually a different world than in my first tutorial. Um, this one was a different one that I was just experimenting with actually before the one that I showed you. And this was just cool because the game happened to give me this little strip of land that was elevated from the ground a little, and that's actually where I started and where I built my first house here. So I built the same stuff in here. The only difference is this thing, which I found up in the sky. We'll get to how I found that. It was on one of the floating islands, actually, which I've already been to in this game. And this is still pretty early on. This doesn't actually do much. It's another crafting station, but it just lets you build like sky blocks, so you can use them as decoration and stuff. Another cool thing about this little strip of land, though, being elevated from the ground, is it allowed me to build these like little chambers. Essentially, I just blocked off a series of walls here with doors, and you can see I've put in some tables and chairs. So these are now considered housing. So you've got your tables and chairs, your surrounding completely, and your torch, which I forgot to mention is also you have to have lighting inside your NPC houses. And I've done the background wall. It was this jungle stuff, but you do have to fill it in. The jungle stuff is not acceptable, apparently. Um, so yeah, I've done some cool stuff in this little world, and it was a little more interesting. So I thought I'd show you this. Actually, another interesting thing that happened to me is I ran into the King Slime boss. Now, normally you have to summon him by crafting a King Slime crown thing and using that to actually summon him. But he just kind of came along, and I was fighting him, and you can see by my various tombstones in this area that I had a hard time with him because, of course, this is still early in the game. I don't have very good equipment. And actually, I did not beat him. I finally just gave up because it was late last night and I wanted to go to bed. Um, but yeah, we've been exploring this quite a little more. And so I'm going to show you actually this time. I'm not just going to sit here and talk. I'm going to show you some of this world because it's pretty cool. I've placed this rope. This is, I think, just a regular rope. You can also, the thing about rope, you'll find it actually. You can't actually make rope. You can either buy it from the merchant who is down here. I have a merchant now. Um, because I built these. And the merchant, you need to have, I think it's 50 silver and a house for him to stay in, and he'll show up. And you can buy rope from him actually, but I just found some rope in some places, so that was cool. And you can actually turn 10 rope into a rope coil, which you can throw at pretty well anything, and if it hits a solid object, it'll automatically create a big long rope, up to 10 normal ropes long. I guess this is a normal rope right here. So up to 10 times that long. And if it doesn't need to be that long, it'll just leave the extra rope at the bottom, which is pretty cool too. Um, Looks like it's getting nighttime, so we'll probably be fighting zombies soon. But you can see I was exploring around here. I filled that over because that was just a hole to fall in. Um, and I've turned down the volume so you can hear me a little better. This was just a natural cave here. I didn't even have to dig this out at all, but I did want to get into mining. Yeah, this is kind of like almost like a jungle cave, although this isn't actually the jungle zone, so it's not actually a jungle cave. You can see there's chests along here. I did not make these chests. You can make chests at your workbench. You need 8 wood and 2 either iron or lead bars, which of course you'll have to craft at your furnace to get the bars usually. You can find bars as well, by the way. And in fact, if I go into my inventory, this is a bunch of the stuff that I found. I've got some more in the chest back at the house there, but I actually found like 5 copper bars. I've got a whole bunch of copper ore. Some of that I dug, some of it I found, I think. I found some gold ore just running around. I found that these tungsten bars, which are good too. I found those up on the floating island. So I found all this stuff. I haven't even done any serious digging, but of course you can dig this all out. All you need to do is bring out your pickaxe and just start digging. Just point out where you want to dig and click, and that's how you dig. But you can dig holes all over the entire environment, of course, but mostly I've just been running around exploring. I did a little digging just to clear out some little tunnels, but this wasn't one of them. This was all natural. You can see it's nighttime, so I got zombies coming at me now. And yeah, look at this cool spear that I've got. It's a little more powerful than the regular short sword, but it also is important. See, yeah, I've emptied all these chests. But the spear also allows you to um, kind of multi-hit things. Like you can hit more than one enemy at a time, and you can see I can get like 3 or 4 hits in one jab with the spear. And here's what I was talking about with the wooden platforms. You can build those wooden platforms anywhere you go. You don't need to have a crafting station for those. You just go over here and there, yeah, here, right here, wooden platforms. And as long as you have some wood, you can make, for each single wood, you can make 2 wooden platforms. And I use these to kind of mark out where I'm going. Um, so you can see, as I say, this is all natural cave. I think I didn't go down there yet, so I'll probably want to do that sometime. But right now, I'm just showing you guys around. And I found all this loot, all these weapons, all these cool stuff just in chests and in different places. Um, so I'm just going to show you around a little bit. This is the natural cave, as I say. I went through here, found these chests, picked everything out of them. You just need to right click on the chest and you can drag stuff from the chest to your inventory. As you can see, I've got like 4 different weapons. I wanted to show you some of that too. The spear is what I've been using mostly because it's pretty solid. I've also got a zombie arm, which works essentially like a sword actually. It's might be a little more powerful than my spear, truth be told, but the only problem is that um, it doesn't have the range and it doesn't have the multi-hit capability. Now this was sort of a natural cave here, but I did have to dig it out to be able to get in here. It just goes down to this chest. So that's kind of what the game's about, actually. You're going to end up digging a lot, and you know, as you go down there, you're going to find the ores that you want to upgrade your equipment. You can, of course, take those back to your furnace, forge them into bars, turn them into cool stuff. This is kind of dark now at night. Let's see, how does this work? Yeah, this zombie arm is pretty effective at killing the zombies, but this is still basic weapons, of course. You can craft, you know, a decent sword that'll outdo this easily. Oh, and the mushrooms, by the way, I've got a whole bunch of those now. They're you can use those. You just need to select them and push the button. There's this chest underwater here too. But the this is getting dark. Maybe I should put a light around so you can see what's going on at least. Um, yeah, so you can craft pretty basic swords that'll outdo this zombie arm. There's a bunch of water down there. I could go down there and explore, but as I say, this is still an early stage actually. I've just been running around looting chests. And I also actually got my first magic item, which is this. That's just a wand. Again, I just found it in a chest. Eventually you can get, of course, various pretty cool wands. I think you can craft wands as well, but this one's fun. You've only got a certain amount of mana. I managed to, you can craft mana stars actually from fallen stars, and I forget what else. It requires one other little item, but yeah, actually there's a mana bonus, so that kind of gives me some of my mana back. And your mana, of course, is for your magic, so there we go. Yeah, this is actually good because I can actually show you guys. You can see what's going on a little better when I'm shooting fire everywhere. I don't think I went down here either, so I've still got lots to explore. I built a tiny little house over here. A little fire will show those zombies. Leave them burning. So I built this house, and actually that's when the merchant came, was after I built this house, but this was just as an outpost because I needed somewhere to stay when it was at night and I was in a little bit of danger. So yeah, I think King Slime is not coming back for me right now, even though I didn't defeat him. But this is the desert. That's something I was going to get into as well. There's different areas, of course, in the world. You start out in the nice, happy green area, but right next to this on this world, and it's going to vary when you generate your world or whatever world you join if you're joining an online game. It will vary where things are, but I've got, you know, my nice little green tree area, and of course you get these fallen stars at night. You can use them to craft various things. Now over here, what we have is called the corruption, and now it depends on your world actually, what how your world was generated. You'll have either the corruption or the crimson, and it's a 50% chance of each, apparently. Um, yeah, a little fire will show you guys what's going on. Oh yeah, and these guys. This was why I built the house actually. So I haven't really gone over farther than that, because there's these guys, and I need to upgrade my equipment really before I fight them too much. I can kill them, but it's a tough fight with my crappy wood armor and stuff. So if you want to get better armor, you're gonna probably have to dig for it. But as I say, I did get a certain amount. I've got my copper and my gold and my tungsten just by running around and looking in chests. Um, and a little bit some of the copper, like the copper ore that I've got here, was just stuff that was sitting right near the ground. But you can dig way down, and of course in this game the whole point is called Terraria. It goes down very deep, and that's a lot of the point of the game. You do your digging. Light him on fire. Close the door again. Uh-oh. 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 There we go. Okay, and this is a good time to talk about potions. So I've got a lesser healing potion. So I'm just going to go ahead and push 0 because I've got it moved into that slot. And there we go. I just got 50 of my health. That's what the healing potion's for. You can use the mushrooms. They only give you 15. I also used some grenades because I ran into some of the ant things, like anteater things that sit on the ground, and I just throw a grenade at them because I don't want to fight them. So you can put that in one of your numbered slots. Any of these numbered slots, you can just push that number and switch to that quickly. In fact, I don't know why I have my wood there. I can use my platforms, but the wood maybe being there isn't that useful. Oh, I guess if I'm building stuff, that's why I had that there. But I've built most of the houses I need for now. Speaking of which, you want to be able to assign your NPCs to houses. So there's this housing icon on the right. And see, this allows you to check if your house is good. See, this housing is suitable because I've got my walls, I've got my lighting, I've got my table and chair, and my backing wall as well. And then you can assign, see, I've got 3 NPCs now. Let me just shut these guys up here. See, the spear is very good for that. There's a bunch of them in a pack. Spear. All right, so I've got my 3 NPCs. There's the guy that you start with, the merchant, and I've got a demolitionist now. Again, you have to fulfill certain requirements. The guide is there when you start. The merchant, when you have, I think, 50 silver in your inventory, or when someone in your game does, of course, if you're playing multiplayer. Demolitionist, honestly, I don't even know how I got him. Maybe I just killed enough people with grenades or something. I don't know. You can look, there's a wiki for all this as well, of course. And you can look up, how to craft specific things and how to, fulfill the various requirements for bosses and for other things. So let's stay on the move here. So yeah, you can get a ton of loot just by exploring the level, looking for chests. Keep an eye out for those chests. Just right click, see what's in them, grab it into your inventory. And you can see I've been placing ropes and various things along the way. And you can do that underground. See, there's this is what I was talking about, the chest in the water. And you'll find things all over, both above ground and underground. So you can start digging. Dig these big mines. You can look for ore. I happen to find some gold and some tungsten just in chests, but you can dig down, and as you dig down, you'll find caves. You can, put these little platforms in places to help you navigate the caves as well as the overworld. And so this is all early game stuff still, but you can dig down into those caves, find more loot, find the ore that you want. This is something else I wanted to tell you about, and something that was interesting about this world. This is what's called a living wood tree. So this is just like a gigantic tree that's automatically in here, and you can see I've dug a tunnel underneath for quicker access to the other side. But essentially, this is all like this shaft, and there's roots down here that are made of actual wood. And instead of using your regular axe to hack it down like you would with the regular trees, with this you actually use your pickaxe as if it was dirt or something. And you can hack it apart like you would the ground, and you'll actually get wood instead of, like a dirt block, you'll get a wood block. So that'll count as wood towards, same as if you were chopping down other trees, except that you actually chop it down differently. So I built all these platforms, to see what was at the top. And well, this is a good surprise. It was a good surprise for me. So I got to the top of the tree, and you can see, like, up at this point, you can actually jump higher. The gravity is actually less. So as you get higher on the level, and you can see it fades to black, and you start to see the stars. So I'm, up nearer to the top of the world. And here's what I found. It's one of these floating islands, and I'd actually never been to one, but I just came up here, happened to come up to the top of the tree, built those platforms, and this is what I found. And this is where I found that little crafting station, and this is actually a chest as well. So I found some good stuff in this chest. That was where the tungsten was. Of course, the only problem is you have to be prepared to fight these harpies. I think, yeah, I got killed by a harpy. It says harpy feather because that's what they throw at you. I did kill a bunch of them, and that's another kind of strategy. You can stay kind of in the doorways and things like that. This is how I was killing some harpies before. The thing is that they take a lot of your power especially when you have crappy equipment like I have right now. So it's not easy to kill them unless you use some strategy, which is what I did there. But I'm awarded with some feathers, and I'll be able to use those later. For now, I'm just going to run away, and I'll keep showing you more of this world. Whee! And as far as I can tell, I don't think there's any fall damage. Oh, no. So you can fall as far as you want, no worries there. Oh, I actually missed some ore right here. Let's dig that out. Where did I put that? Yeah, number 5 now. I've been moving my equipment around. Yeah, so just a little more copper just sitting right here. That's what your ore looks like. And it'll be different colors depending what kind of ore it is. So this is the snow zone just on the other side of that big tree. Okay, I should talk about the weapons a little bit. So you start with, I started with the short sword. You can get a long sword, which is more of a swing overhead. So yeah, I kind of moved this. Okay, let's put my short sword back up there so I can select it. So that's the little short sword. If you build a long sword, it'll swing more like this zombie arm over your head. So that's going to be a little more useful. And of course, what you build them out of and that kind of thing. You can look at the stats here. That short sword is only 5 damage, whereas my spear, this is a trident, but it's classified as a spear, has some extra stats there. This is 11 melee damage. It's got some additional stuff. This is what, the zealous and other attributes of your equipment come down to bonuses. And then you've got, see, I've got the zombie arm. It's a ruthless zombie arm, so it's got some bonuses as well. You've got, this is my magic wand that I was showing you there. I don't know if I can kill slimes with magic, can I? Yeah. Well, anyway, so your magic is going to use your mana up here, and it'll show you how much you've got left and everything. Oh yeah, not terribly effective though. But what weapon you're going to want to use depends on what you're fighting as well. So if you're not sure, just try it out. But you can actually look that up a little bit on the wiki as well, particularly for the bosses. Depending on the type of boss, you're going to want to use different weaponry, depending if it's close range, short range, or longer range. You can use your magic and stuff like that if you're farther away. I've got a boomerang here as well. There are actually a bunch of things classified as boomerang. I think this is just, yeah, it's a wooden boomerang. So it's not particularly powerful, but of course that gives you a little bit of range, which is a helpful thing as well, which is why I was using the trident or the spear in the first place, because it gives me a little more range than the short sword, as well as happens to be more damage in this case. But even if it was the same damage, I would use that just because I don't have to be quite so close. Yeah, but you can see, again, versus the trident, this is a single hit at a time, but it does come back to you. You can also craft yo-yos. The first yo-yo you can craft is your wooden yo-yo. A lot of them are difficult to craft, actually, but yo-yos kind of you just throw them out. It's there. You can also craft flails, but a yo-yo is something you can. Surprisingly, it's supposed to be pretty good. I haven't actually used it yet, but I think it allows like multi-hits and stuff like that. So you may want to try that. What you'll need for a yo-yo is, let's see, 10 wood and 20 cobwebs to get your wooden yo-yo, and you can craft that at your workbench. So let's see, I've shown you a fair bit of this world now. In fact, I haven't gone quite to this far edge this way either. I've gotten a good part of the way. Again, I kind of dug down in here. In fact, I got stuck down here fighting some stuff for a while at night. But again, these where you have kind of like a narrow opening, that can be a good way. See, if they were coming down here, I'm just stabbing up, and they don't really have a chance to get behind me or anything. So keep that in mind, especially early game. Oh, and here's a vulture over here. See, there's 2 deserts in this one, but there are a number of what they call biomes, which are your different parts of the world, like different types of terrain, different environments. Um, hmm. So you know what? I was gonna get into maybe the slime boss, the king slime boss being the first boss, and maybe some of your other crafting stations. The next ones you're gonna want to look at might be, oh, here's one of those. This is what I was talking about, an ant lion. That's what it's called. Let's see if I can hit him with a grenade from here. No. I'm gonna have to get a little closer. Um, Yeah, so you can craft a sawmill and a loom, which will help you build things like you can create a bed, which you can put in a house or wherever you want. That'll become your spawn point, but you need a sawmill to be able to do that. You can create a loom, which will allow you to create like clothing and banners and stuff like that, and some of that can become useful. So those are additional crafting stations. Okay, maybe I don't need the grenade for him. I just threw grenades at them before because I found some grenades in a chest. So there are other things you can get into, but I just wanted to give you a little more of an overview of kind of your next steps. Get out exploring. Don't be afraid to go down into caves. Run if you have to. Be careful at night. Here's another tree that I found. This one doesn't really go anywhere though. As you can see, it's not nearly so tall. So yeah, this world has at least 2 living wood trees, as they're called. Um, and yeah, I kind of got over here, and there's a big drop off. This is not the ocean. What you'll find at the very edge of the world, this is just a small map as well. You can do small worlds, medium, and large. I've only been doing small ones for now because, I'm just in the earlier stages still. But you'll run into ocean on the far side of each edge of the world, and that's kind of the end. But but of course, you can always go downward. And I turned this into, this isn't really officially housing because I didn't do the backing, but again, I found chests here, and this was just a convenient spot. And you can see what I did here with the wall on the end here. I raise it off the ground, and you can see that where I started as well. I like to raise these up a bit because when the zombies come at night, they'll just bump against this instead of trying to come through the door. Eventually, especially on the blood moon, a blood moon is an event where like a lot more stuff comes, and it'll warn you. You get the text in the bottom left when various things happen. It'll warn you, oh, there's a blood moon, and you should be prepared because you're gonna have a lot more stuff coming at you at night. So if you build your house right, you have this wall, the zombies can't come in, and those flying eye things, they don't open doors. The zombies can, especially on the blood moon. They can actually open the doors. So if your door is on ground level, they can come right through into your house. And, if you don't have the equipment to fight them, then you might be in trouble. And here we are. This is about as far as I got, but this is not the end. Actually, when I came over here, I was building this platform, and I kind of fell off. But um, I was just building this along the top as I did with some of the other ones. But of course, this one's very long. And it was actually along here that I ran into King Slime. So let's just see what happens if I come over here. Probably I'm not going to see him again because I fought him unsuccessfully, and I think that was just a random event. Normally you have to summon him, and you have to meet certain requirements for that to happen. See, here's where I first died by King Slime. And since I died here and I was nowhere near my my actual house, I got sent all the way back. Oh, and here we are. This is actually the castle. And I may as well tell you about this now that I'm here. This leads to the dungeon. Now, again, you have to defeat or you have to meet certain requirements in order to actually be able to successfully go down into the dungeon. So you can try going down into the dungeon, and we'll just open this up and we'll light it up for you here. So this is the castle, and this leads to the dungeon. Let's see, why can't I place? Oh, I'm pushing the wrong button, that's why. Okay, so this guy, this is the old man. He's always outside of the castle. Yeah. Okay, I shouldn't be seeing if a goblin scout is friendly, apparently. Special hint, they're not. But the old man, you can talk to him, and you can talk to him at any time. See, but he'll tell you, come back at night if you wish to enter. What happens though, if you come here at night and you talk to the old man, it'll summon one of the bosses, and you better be prepared because it's a tough boss. So that's not the first boss you want to fight. You'll probably want to fight, maybe King Slime is sort of considered the first boss. But the first boss you have to fight is the Eye of Cthulhu, which again, you have to meet certain requirements to actually do that. But if I try to go down here, I'm going to get killed. And you know what? What the hell? I'll show you just what happens. I want to see, um, let's see, what do I have for money? I'm going to lose some good money though. Um, what the hell? I'll show you anyway. If I try to go down here, you're going to see big skull things coming at me. And so the answer to your question, can you go down here before defeating the boss? Well, you can, but these giant skulls will come and kill you. So, yep, those guys. Yep, dead. And you can see there's actually a cave, and this is what you'll run into underground if you're mining. You'll run into caves all over the place, and they'll connect to other caves and blah blah blah. But for now, that's the basic idea. That dungeon, you'll want to definitely have some very good equipment and stuff before you'll want to fight that boss. You'll want to talk to the old man at night, fight the boss, kill the boss, then you can go into the dungeon. But before that, you're going to want to spend lots of time mining, getting your resources, upgrading your equipment, get the best stuff you can, and then you'll be ready for things like that. So that's kind of my second tutorial. Maybe next time I'll cover, some of the armor, some of the ore, some of the mining, as far as, actually showing you like some of the gold and other stuff that you can find down there, build a sawmill, loom, and show you crafting some other stuff. But let's call it there for this video, and I hope you enjoy, and let me know what you want to see next. Like, share, subscribe, of course. The more people who watch my videos and say what they want to see, the more I'll be doing for you, and I'm always willing to take feedback and support my viewers and subscribers. So hope you like the video, and I'll see you next time.